As you probably heard by now a couple of times, half the population of the world is under the age of 30. That is 3.5 million people. Or as we like to say it in Women Deliver, it's 3.5 million opportunities. They are decision makers, they are leaders, they are agents of change, and their choices, opportunities, and needs will define not only the world as we know it, but the world as we want it. So through the development and adaptation of the Sustainable Development Goals, and with the growing consensus that young people, they play that critical role. Actually, you could say that the Sustainable Development Goals were developed for young people because they're the ones who are going to get us out of this mess. But it's also a great opportunity to really look at what does meaningful youth engagement mean. It's not just having them up on the stage for 5 minutes or 25 minutes, it's actually involving them. So today, as Ban Ki-moon said it, they are the torch bearers, but they're also the leaders of both today and tomorrow. So today I have 3 wonderful young people, 3 of the 3.5 billion change makers, and they will be coming up here and we will be discussing the barriers young people face, how to overcome them, and how we can all, every one of you, every one of the organizations present here, really live it and walk that talk about youth engagement. So I'm really happy to present up here with me, Melina, Masnatta, would you come up? Melina, where are you? Come on up. Melina is the coordinator of the Digital Innovation Laboratory at Fundación Huésped in Argentina. She is a Wikipedian, but she's also a professor and researcher. That kind of scares me a little bit when a young person like that is already a professor. She believes that the link between art, technology, and education can be the bridge for social change, and you can find her both on Google and her Twitter handle is up there. We were really revolutionary here. We put the Twitter handles up. So the next one, Shaikat, would you come up? Executive Director of SERAC in Bangladesh. You've seen him before, some of you. He is a very familiar face here in the Reproductive Health Supplies Coalition. He chairs the Reproductive Health Supplies Coalition Youth Discussion Group. And he's also, and we're very proud of that, a Women Deliver Young Leader. And he leads in Bangladesh a national level youth-led advocacy organization called SERAC. He is very invested in this. You see him many places, and he kicks in doors and makes change happen. Stephan, would you join us as well? Great. Regional Health Coalition's Regional Network Intern at SECONAF from Senegal, and he has been a member of different youth organizations for more than 5 years. And in 2011, he joined the Youth Network of Young People Working on Population and Development in Senegal, and he led the communication team at the 4th Summit of the UN Youth Leaders. So a very accomplished man, again, one of those scary ones. 3 scary, wonderful young people up here. So I'm going to ask you each for one word that defines, or that is a barrier for young people's access to reproductive health supplies. Melina, one word.
Information.
Information? Shaikat.
Stigma.
Stigma? Stephan?
I think discrimination.
Discrimination,
Yep.
Stigma, information. That's 3 of them. What else? Shaikat?
Policy, of course.
Policy?
Providers.
Providers, yeah. Stephan?
Programs.
Programs, they are both, I guess many of them are both a barrier and an enabler, aren't they? Yeah. So, Melina, I had expected you to say technology, but maybe that's about how we can overcome the barriers?
Okay, well, first of all, please raise your cell phones. Please, don't be shy. Okay, here we are. And take a look for our screen and think for a moment how many applications do you use every day and how many of them are the solution for the world, for example, for a social problem. Do you find someone, something, or someone who can tell me social media is eating us, for example? Well, okay. We find the last time that young people in my country use cell phones to share information. But you always think, what about information? Information in my country is not good, is unreliable. Google, for example, is not the only way that you can find the best solution if you have a question, for example. And that's why we are creating an application where young people not only can find delivery points of contraceptions and good sources of information, they can make the change in this way. They can create a crowdfunding platform where they can also make reviews and add comments and being active. If that provider, for example, don't give the solution or the supply that they need. So we are working in this way. We think that technology maybe sometimes is not the only solution. The solution is the mindset that how or where or the best way as you can use technology is make the question, is it useful? Is something that I can change something? And that's why we, in this design program, and in the user experience that we are creating, we are working with many groups of young leaders that they are help us to know how can we make the change with technology. Not only for be on Snapchat or Twitter, to be part of the change to the solution.
And let's be real on that, kind of, for me at least, technology and the phone, right, sometimes I almost sleep with it, but it's still a learned behavior. It's not something I've grown up with. So the way young people approach it and know it and live it can actually be a great learning for us former youth. Also in programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need that others enlighten us.
Yes.
Why? Because, the critical thinking is not something that we born with that. We need this kind of critical thinking that the others can enlighten, can show us, and can ask the technology. Is it useful? Mm-hmm. For what?
Mm-hmm. So kind of the marriage of information and content with an easier approach to technology and easier use of technology. That's again where young people and more traditional program people can really benefit each other. Stephan, let me, you have also used technology for a big survey that you've done with PATH, but it's not the technology part I want to focus on. Can you tell us about the big survey you did with PATH on young people's needs and opportunities?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to start with, in Senegal, there is a lot of things we have to do for young people, but, by understanding them, their way to work and what they need really, they have problem of accessing products. And one day, I was in the same situation as many hundreds, Senegalese young. So I'm in Atusa, and we thought...
You needed to get contraception for you in your life.
Yeah. So we thought it would be great to have a survey to know how young people use contraceptive, if they know how they use it, or what kind of product they need and what they face when they go to the facility to buy or that kind, to the pharmacy in Senegal commonly. So that's what we launched a survey on the 14 department of Senegal, and to know exactly what they want, what kind of problem, difficulties they're facing on the ground.
And who best to know that than the young people themselves?
Yeah.
So what happened after that when you had the survey?
There's a lot of feedback we got. So they were saying that they have problem of accessing, but sometimes they were stock out, so they could not have the product, the kind of one they wanted. But they said also that they have been discriminated, some of them, because of their age. So 15 years old, 16 years old, having sex, needing product is so complicated, and that kind. So people, the sellers, so they used to say in their head that how this young one could need that product, so it's too complicated for them. And in Senegal, we are, 85% Muslim, 4% Christians like me, and the others, some animists. So, religious matter. But this like it. So they could not have product, they have been discriminated, and they don't want to get back to the facilities. So that's what come out from the survey for the while, but it's still a long job, long things we have to do.
So now it's action. Now we're waiting for action.
Action, either we're waiting for action is you. Donors are there, manufacturers are there. So by myself, I could not do nothing without information, giving the information, the right one, as I usually do in the ground. But after this, there is, and what is awesome in this and beautiful is young people say that on the survey, they need special training for parents. They need special training also for the sellers.
Barrier and enabler. Yes.
Yeah, that kind. So it could not be done by me and Masnatta and SECONAF and also Shaikat, everyone. But we need you. We need each of you to be part of that.
Thanks. Shaikat, how does the policies in Bangladesh support what you're trying to achieve? And what have you learned from some of the other young leaders that you have been working with?
Thank you. I was actually in the middle of two people, and they're so strong. I'm feeling energy, warm. So before I come to policy, I want to address stigma.
Okay.
Let me ask something, how many of us in this room have talked about child marriage during this meeting over this week?
Talked about child marriage.
How many hands?
All right.
Look at them.
It's not a lot.
Excellent. Okay. Believe me, we are ignoring something. If we are ignoring the fact of child marriage, we're actually ignoring the fact that an adolescent girl, maybe in Bangladesh today, she's having an unintended pregnancy, she didn't have a choice, and she cannot talk about contraceptive methods to her husband because she doesn't have the authority. So we're ignoring a lot of things. Coming back to the stigma thing, I have been actually coming across a lot of advices throughout my youth career, and one of that is I heard preachers saying abstinence is really good. Okay, yeah, why good? They have a lot of reasons. Believe me, this advice of abstinence doesn't work behind the doors. And no one actually remembers preachers that time. So it's true. So another way is the policy that prevents young people accessing methods and other services. In Bangladesh, unmarried couple officially do not take any service. I said officially, I mean legally. But the government knows that we take services. And what they say, last month we organized the Bangladesh's first National Youth Conference on Family Planning in Dhaka. And at there, the Director General for Family Planning, he addressed, we know you are taking service. Okay? Just we know. This is not actually they know. They don't recognize us. So you are not actually recognizing this. 1/3 of the country's population, which is 55 million young people, you are just not addressing these people. We are not like under the blanket. We are out there.
Or maybe you're under the blanket. Sorry.
So when we stop people to take contraception methods, and then we actually reserve no right to criticize if they go for abortion. If we stop them to take contraceptives, we do not have the right to say like, don't go for abortion. It's bad, it's illegal, and things. So there are like policies that support, and there are also policies that prevent you to take whatever you rightfully you deserve to take.
That's great. And then what do we do about it?
One thing, that is, don't be afraid of young people. Don't be, please. We don't bite, okay? We don't bite. If you got a chair inside your room in a meeting, okay, invite us. Invite us with the microphone, of course. It's not like something like I go in and I sit around like a token. Don't do that. Invite us. We don't bite. Okay?
Good. I wish we could continue this, because this is great, and I think everybody here could learn a lot. But we also know people are hungry, and they don't really learn a lot when they are hungry. So if each of you could take 30 seconds and give one advice or thought to the people in this room, what would that be? Melina, will you start?
Oof. One advice. I mean, maybe we can change the rules of everything as we are user, for example, of technology. Why, if we think that technology can be a bridge between generations, a topic to talk with the young people, a topic to teach each other. And, well, all of us has one of these, and it's very powerful because we can mute technology. Well, let's think what we can do together, we young and all as a society.
Great. Shaikat? Yeah.
Oh, okay. We are your consumers as well. Don't forget us. So think of that 1.8 billion young people in the world. I mean, these constitute a country like India, quite like India. You guys gonna ignore the whole country of young people of 1.8 billion? Okay, think of this. And don't ignore us. We are your consumers. Invest in us. Ask us what we need and show us the way to work with you. And then invest in us. Otherwise, we can grow up like you are growing up. You have grown up, sorry. Some of the former youths really growing up. Okay. Thank you.
Great. So producers, reproducers, and consumers, and see us as such. Yeah. Great. Stephan?
The one advice that I have for everybody there, so we've been there till Monday to Friday now, and we're talking about a lot of technical things, so get back to the essential. We're working for maternal health, we're working for reproductive health, so let's put the young first. Yes, let's work with young. We're a good partner, and we're a great market. You never imagine. You never you don't have the idea of the potential we have. And I'm not talking for myself, but I'm talking for Senegalese young with million, in African also. Thank you.
And as we say, if you're not at the table, you're often at the menu. Yeah. So invite young people in, and not just to sit at the table, but actually be real participants in planning, pre-planning, program implementation, policies, all of it. Ask them what they need, what they want, what they feel, what they can, and remember to listen when you ask them. And trust them. Trust young people. You know, nobody knows better than them. And I think we have here, and in many of the other young leaders who are here, have seen a tremendous, not only potential, but achievement in really, really making change happen in everyday life for a lot of people. So this is just the start of the conversation. It started last year, and this is going to continue. And we really look forward to seeing the Reproductive Health Suppliers Coalition embracing young people in everything they do moving forward.
Great.